What's up, guys? So NZXT BLD launched their new starter PC series yesterday. It ranges from $699 all the way up to $999, and this is really their entry level, their budget system for somebody to either get started with PC gaming or maybe upgrade from an older system on a budget. So starting off with the starter. So the starter is the $699 computer, and it's really the base level Intel CPU and then a base level NVIDIA graphics card. So if we take a look at the specs, we're looking at a Core i3-9100F from Intel, so again, their base CPU from the last generation, and then a GTX 1650 from MSI. So both of those, again, entry level for Intel and entry level for NVIDIA graphics cards, but enough to get you gaming at, as they're showing here, 60 to 70 FPS in games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Fortnite, and then a little bit higher in some other titles like Rainbow Six Siege, probably Valorant or CSGO as well. You'll be able to see some higher FPS in those titles. But the 9100F does limit you in that it's a 4-core CPU and it only has 4 threads, so no hyper-threading, so just 4 cores, 4 threads. There's a lot of CPUs out there in the market that have come down in price that are going to give you way more performance than the i3. A 9600K right now is sitting at around $190. A 3600X from AMD, 6-core, 12-thread CPU, right around $200. So there's plenty of higher performing chips out there that will definitely see a FPS benefit. But NZXT decided to go with the i3 to keep costs down. And when it comes to the memory on the starter, you're looking at a single 8 gig stick of 3000 megahertz memory. And that is going to limit you as well. So you're running in single channel versus dual channel, which is going to limit your performance on the CPU. But you can always upgrade down the road, get an extra 8 gig stick, and you'll be really set for pretty much all games with 16 gigs of memory. And then it also comes with a 512 gigabyte Intel 660p M.2 drive, which is plenty. If you want to go ahead and throw in like a 1 terabyte hard drive or a 2 terabyte hard drive for your game library, that's cheap, that's easy to do. Probably like $50 and you'll be all set with a large game library available to you. And the system also comes with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, which is really nice. I don't really know that I would recommend this PC, being that it is only the 4-core, 4-thread i3 from Intel. You're sort of limited. The performance isn't going to be great. You're going to see, like shown here, 60 to 70 FPS in most games. And let's say down the road, maybe right now you're playing 60 FPS 1080p, but down the road you want to upgrade to like 144 FPS, something like that. This system is definitely going to limit you from that perspective. You could always upgrade down the road. By the time you were to upgrade to like a 9600K, maybe a 9700K, prices will definitely come down on those chips in the future. So it might be like a good investment, a really nice starter PC. But for $699 and you're only getting a 4-core, 4-thread i3, it's definitely not a great deal. And if you were to take like any old refurbished computer, and I've done plenty of videos on this and I will put them in the description below, you can find like a bunch of HP, Dell, Lenovo small form factor computers, as well as some of their mid-tower and tower PCs for like $150 on eBay, maybe $200. And those will come with an i7, so 4 cores and 8 threads. It will be a couple generations older, so you're probably looking at like a 4th gen i7, so a 4770, 4790. Again, it's not 14 nanometer, it's 22 nanometer, but you're looking at probably similar to even better performance, being that it's 4 cores and 8 threads. You do have the multi-threading capability. So you could get one of those systems for like $200, buy a 1650 for $150, and you're looking at like $350 to $400 for a gaming PC that's going to give you similar performance. So of course you're giving up the 2-year warranty from NZXT. You're giving up like the aesthetic of a really nice gaming PC, being that it is built in the H510. So you have to weigh your options, but if you're looking purely at a budget system, you want to save as much money as possible, that's probably a better route to go. So the starter's a little bit hard to really push and say you should definitely go and buy this if you're going to do a budget build or if you want some budget pre-built. But let's take a look at the Starter Plus and the Starter Pro and see if those are giving you enough bang for the buck when it comes to performance. So taking a look at the Starter Plus, as you can see, you got a nice jump in FPS in all those titles. So Call of Duty, Fortnite both jumped to like 90 FPS. Rainbow Six went up to 170. So you know you're getting better components for sure. So if we scroll down to the specs, you can see now we have an i5-9400F. So again, 6 cores, 6 threads, no hyper-threading on any of these processors. And then you're getting a 1660 Super, again, the MSI card. So now you're really stepping up in terms of the graphics. You're going to see a lot more performance from the 1660 Super, 6 gigs of VRAM versus the 4 gigs on the 1650, more CUDA cores, overall a better card. Plus with the 1660 Super, you also get NVENC encoding built in to that card. So overall, a really, really big upgrade for $200, a much better chip with the 9400F, as well as a much better graphics card for the money. And now you're getting two 8 gig DIMMs of 3200 megahertz RAM. So now you're running a dual channel, you're taking full capability of the CPU, you're pumping as much performance out of the system as possible. And then you're still sitting with the 512 gigabyte Intel 660p M.2 drive. So plenty of storage to get Windows, your base programs, stuff like that, maybe a couple games, and then be able to add down the line a 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte hard drive to be able to put your game library on. Again, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth capabilities, RGB, and then it is VR capable and streaming capable as shown down in the features. So that is really nice as well. And the FPS in those titles is definitely a little bit more in line to where if you wanted to upgrade your monitor down the line to 120, 144 FPS, you might be able to toggle some settings and be able to hit that in some games. So the starter plus is sitting at $899. If we jump up $100 to the starter pro at $999, we're looking at the same processor, the same RAM, but we're stepping up the graphics card to a 1660 Ti. So jumping up to the 1660 Ti from Gigabyte, so you're not going to see a huge performance increase over the 1660 Super, maybe a few percent, maybe 5%, but it's definitely not going to be crazy. And you're also stepping up to a 1 terabyte M.2, the Intel 665p, so slightly more performance from the SSD side of things. And you're going to be able to store more games, more programs, more files, and be able to run them quicker on that M.2. Again, hard drive capabilities to add on in the future. But same as the starter plus, you got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, VR capable, as well as streaming capable. But as you can see, a little bit of a boost in terms of FPS. So let's go ahead and take a look at what kind of system you could build yourself at a similar budget and see if it's really worth to go with the NZXT BLD starter PC series. Again, you're getting the 2-year warranty from NZXT. You're getting them to build it for you, ship it to you. It's definitely a lot easier to go with their solution. But if you did want to maybe try your hand at building a PC, you're definitely going to be able to get some better components at a cheaper price because you are building it yourself. So let's take a look at PC Part Picker. And this is a build that I put together. Ignore the $500 budget PC. So this one you can get for $730 if you were to buy all these components yourself. Throw another $100 in for like an authentic Windows license key, and you're looking around like $830. So definitely coming in under that $900 to $1,000 mark from the NZXT BLD service. And with this build, you're looking at a Ryzen 5 3600X. Prices have come down a lot on the last generation of Ryzen chips, being that Ryzen 4000 is so close. So you can get a 3600X for $200. You can go with a Gigabyte B450 motherboard for like $75. You're not going to get the best VRM solution on this board. You're not going to get the best I/O, but you're going to have plenty for the Ryzen 5 3600X. You can go with 16 gigs of Corsair 3200 megahertz RAM, so exactly what you're getting in the starter PC Plus and starter PC Pro from NZXT. A 240 gig SSD, so definitely cutting down from that Intel 660p M.2 drive, but being that we are so under budget, you could definitely upgrade to an NVMe SSD. And then we're looking at a 1660 Super, so exactly what you're getting in the starter PC Plus, an NZXT H510. All of the NZXT starter PCs are built in this case. And then you're looking at an EVGA 600 watt power supply. So if you did want to upgrade down the line, you do have plenty of power to upgrade your graphic card, upgrade your CPU in the future. So you're looking at 6 cores and 12 threads with the Ryzen 5 3600X versus the non-hyper-threaded 9400F. You're also looking at a higher IPC with the 7nm Ryzen process. So overall, it's a better chip. You're going to see much better performance in most workloads. Probably gaming very similar, if not better, on the Ryzen chip as well. For whatever reason, NZXT decided to go with all Intel chips and no AMD. But if you were to build your own PC, I probably would recommend going with a Ryzen chip at this price point. Otherwise, for the same price as the Ryzen 5 3600X, you could get a 9600K from Intel. So again, 6 cores, 6 threads, much higher boost clocks and base clocks over the 9400F. Plus it's overclockable. You might spend a little bit more on a motherboard if you're going to go a Z390 or something like that. But if you went with more of a budget board, you could stick to a similar price point and go with the 9600K from Intel versus the Ryzen 5 3600X. But either way, you could definitely get a better system than what NZXT is giving you here for a cheaper price. But at the same time, you're giving up that 2-year warranty. You're giving up the fact that you're getting a pre-built. You don't have to build it yourself. And then you're not dealing with any of the headaches of building it yourself. You can call their customer service. You can reach out to NZXT and get help with your system. And of course, I don't have a system on hand. If you want to check out exactly what the build quality is like and stuff like that from the NZXT BLD service, definitely check out Gamers Nexus video that they did recently, where they went and actually bought a system. They did a full breakdown of the system that they received. They did some customer service calls, customer service emails to see exactly what NZXT's customer service was like with these products and what you could expect if you were going to buy one of these computers from them. But overall, some nice systems from NZXT in a really, really good budget-centric mindset. And you're not going to get the look of one of these systems from any of the other OEMs. Dell, HP, they're not going to give you one of these systems. You're really getting enthusiast end-user consumer components from an OEM with a warranty, which is really, really awesome. You get an H510 case, one of the best-selling cases out there in terms of people that are going out and building their own computers. You're getting, again, enthusiast-grade components, which is really, really nice to see. You're not getting some product that's going to have proprietary components that you're not going to be able to upgrade down the road. These are going to hold their value a little bit better than some of the other pre-builds, as it is like enthusiast-grade components, like I've been saying. So if you're looking to possibly get one of these starter PCs from NZXT, hopefully this video gave you a little bit more information, a little bit more clarity in terms of exactly what you're getting for the price, and what you could possibly get if you're to do your own build or possibly upgrade an older system. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, any comments, be sure to leave those below. I'll definitely do my best to answer as many as I can. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I will be doing another PC upgrade video, taking an older PC, this one with an i5-7400, upgrading it with a GTX 1660 Super, possibly some RAM, and maybe even a power supply. So be sure to stay tuned for that video.